Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for a weekly angel reading for August the 20th through the 26th, 2018. So let's just take a moment to take a deep breath and to really connect in with our inner guidance and the messages that have been coming through for you. In particular, um, messages that have probably inspired some changes for you. And in some ways, these changes are challenging you, and they're challenging for you because you these messages are really asking you to nurture yourself, to nurture your own projects and your goals. And they mentioned something about Tuesday. So, and, and what I'm seeing is it started out with a carriage, believe it or not. Um, and so this is giving me a sense of some kind of transition. When I see any type of vehicle, or whether it's past or present, um, in terms of the technology, it represents a transition energy taking place. Now, this that it's something very old, like a carriage, some sort of outdated technology. So it feels like something that really is trying to really old. It may even be connected to um, past life um, information, but that it's something that's really moving out, and it feels like a challenge because it's just been with you so long, meaning it's been a part of your way of operating. And I'm not too sure if this is something that's a negative or a positive, actually. That I'm not sure about. It could be a this thing that you're being asked to consider, these changes, these messages that are coming through. It could be the reactivation of something that your soul, a gift or ability in your soul. It could be something that, a purpose that you've come to actualize and realize, and that you're in the right point in your life for this to come out. Nothing is ever really behind schedule. Everything shows up when the timing is right, when all the components are present for you to be able to recognize this opportunity or this gift awakening within you. So let's not get, you know, give into this kind of thinking that we're delayed or we're behind, because the universe never stops unfolding, and you are spiritually and physically a part of this um, idea, this concept. And so even though you may focus on something that is not keeping up to date, it does not mean that as you focus on that, that new possibilities come out of wherever you focus yourself, because the universe is basically creating. And so if you just choose to focus on the past or in the past, um, it, this will not stop new life from unfolding from this, because you can never look at it from the very same perspective that you had, because you've continued to live like an organism that keeps adapting and keeps branching out. And so when you go back and you look at something from the past, you are still looking at it with a fresh perspective, even though you may be holding on to a general coloring of that, which you will know clearly if you are or if you're not, because you're not able, you feel a wound and you believe the wound is because of what happened then. The wound is not because of what happened then, it's because of how you're choosing to see it still, and when you have the opportunity to see it differently and you're not. That is the pain that you're experiencing. It is not because that thing that happened long ago is still active or radioactive, and creating and distorting and inhibiting you from finding fulfillment and happiness and joy in the present. There is nothing that has this power over you, not even a memory or an existence. It is only you in the present moment choosing to not see the growth around that which had happened. And because your inner being is always filled with wisdom and is always enlightening you, in order that you can let go, in order that you can receive the forgiveness that your heart needs in order for you to feel in the present moment the elation that is available as your light shines its truth into the illusions that you have held falsely. Just give it a little time for that to be heard and for your heart to adjust its frequency in terms of resonating with the truth that you're hearing. And this is coming from all of us, our collective higher consciousness. So absorb this, let go of any ideas. Let go of any ideas that anything, past, present, or future, has any power over you, that it has any definite control over how you are choosing to react and what it is that you're experiencing or you believe you're experiencing. Because the key here is belief. This is the point at which you give your power to anything. And you must decide before you offer your belief. And they're saying this is your job. Before you offer your belief, and they're saying they know it's rough. Because when it's all standing in front of you and it's all around you, and your ego starts to spin it in your mind and play this tape and play out all the possibilities of everything that could go wrong and all the risks that you're taking. Yeah, it's rough. And they get it. They don't live it, but they get it. Some of you, they're saying, get it. But it's, as this is happening, you have to believe. And so what they first want you to do is stop and realize that when it feels chaotic, that this is not what you believe it is. This is not everything going wrong, but this is everything finding new connections, finding new pathways, finding new ways of relating to the information. It's a toss-up. Because what is in that sort of blind spot, or the figuring out aspect that you are interpreting as everything going to hell, so to speak, this is your, this is the time for you. The universe you are finding new ways to sift through the information, to look at it differently. It's like if you threw all the pieces of the puzzle or something up in the air and let it land, you could, if you scramble it, you may see something different than you saw before, if you get what I'm trying to say. And so don't panic when this happens. But what this gives you the opportunity to do is also, when you feel the contrast in this way, and it feels chaotic and your anxiety starts to run amok, this gives you the opportunity to first recognize that the viewpoint that you hold generally in this moment is not in alignment with any truth that is yours. And that instead of trying to dive into the chaos, to try to fix it, in the writing the word joy, is for you to recognize that your truth is aligned with joy, and to go within until you can find relief within yourself. So instead of trying to figure out how to deal with that out there, they're showing me nurturing, like a bra, which is my symbol for nurturing. They want you, and the bra means, where the breast usually means nurturing, and the bra means to guard yourself in this way. So what they want you to do is they want you to think about only what you need, what you want, what will make you happy in your soul, deep in there. They don't want you to think about all that stuff out there and how you have to adjust. Because see, when you dive into that chaos, you have to adjust yourself. You have to compromise yourself. You have to compromise your own peace and happiness. Every time. There's no way. Because it's not the illusion. You can't dive into an illusion and find truth. And your soul is only aligned with truth. So if you dive into that illusion, you have to compromise yourself, no matter how noble the act may appear that you're performing. You're still being counterproductive. You're counteracting the inclination of your inner wellness. So, they want you, when you see that something is so opposing to you, that it feels that horrible and that conflicting, they want you to take joy that you have been separated, because your light is so strong, becomes so strong in that moment, that the illusion separates from you. See, you're so used to actually coexisting with the chaos that you believe, going back to that word again, that this is a part of you. You believe that most times that these circumstances are personal. This is what they mean by don't take anything personally. Because once you take it personally, that means you are agreeing to coexist with the chaos, with the compromise to your inner wellness and happiness. And when those moments of great contrast or opposition come up in your life, it's that in that moment that it feels so out of control and you feel so lost and abandoned by Source. It is actually that Source, God, has come through you to shine its light so bright that it's like a repellent And the shadows, the illusions, back away and stand in front of you like a sheet or surround you, almost like, the waters when they parted in the sea, in the story of Moses, when the Israelites had to go through. It feels, so it feels overwhelming, but it's happened because your light had stood to protect you, to shine your truth. This is how you are protected. You are not protected as in to defend, like somebody's going to come in and swoop in and you know swat everything away, or no. The way that God protects you, the way that the divine protects you, is by shining your light so bright that everything that is not in alignment with your truth, or that is not truth, is separated. It's like the vinegar and oil, they just get separated so that you can see, because they're not here to dictate or control. The divine does not want to do this. But what it always wants to do, because it gave it to you and entrusted to you free will, it wants to make it clear. The way that it can protect you is to make it clear what the boundaries are. And yet, in those moments when the boundaries are set and they are clear because the light is that bright, you freak out instead. Because it's like somebody removed a piece of you. But it was a piece of you that you believed was yours, but it's not. And that is the only reason why we suffer within our hearts, within that beautiful, gentle place, that gentleness. Your heart is all about gentleness. It's about just gentleness and peace and soothing relaxation. It's not about this bang, 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 bang. And this is why when we infuse our heart with this chaos, this bang, 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 your heart center feels sore with agony. And it's only doing that to help you to separate truth from illusion, because you are trying to coexist with it. And the way for you to get clearer about the happiness you deserve and the abundance that you deserve and the loving relationships you deserve is to not coexist with the illusions. So to be honest about what your heart wants. And if you keep doing that, you won't ever have to worry about coexisting with the illusions, because you won't invite them through your belief, because you'll be given all your belief to your heart and your inner wellness by speaking your truth, by living your truth. First, before trying to speak your truth, live it. It's far more convincing. Far, far more convincing. Nobody's asking you to go out and evangelize. Live your truth. You get comfortable living it, because that's where the challenge, that's what makes it rough. It's easy to tell somebody what your truth is, but if you don't live it, and I'm not saying that in judgment, I'm not saying you have to be perfect, I'm not saying that you can't ever screw it up. Because if you do, there's no less love for you. Whether you do it on purpose or not, you don't get less love here. This is not the vein in which we say this to you. The point is that if you do, you do. But when you live your truth, This comes from being selfish in a good way, in which you are nurturing yourself. You are giving yourself the substance, the love that you need to help the garden of your heart grow. You need to truly focus on what do you want, what will make you happy, but you're answering. And I wish you wouldn't even have to answer it. I wish you could just listen and do it. Because when you remove the questions, you remove doubt. As soon as you ask a question about, you got to remember your soul is intimately a part of you. It's already integrated. So to ask a question is to act as if it's separate from you. And which is why it makes the idea of manifesting something so difficult, because it's like you're calling it from somewhere. It's already in there. It's already a part of your soul. And so the only thing to do is to acknowledge rather than question. Acknowledge your truth. That's what I mean by living your truth. Acknowledge. In every decision, every choice, acknowledge it first. Make it the priority. Put it above all others and all things and all other beliefs outside of you. And your soul, you will feel as though your soul is unhackable. That is to say, without the influence of anything else that might concern you. Okay, so let's take a look, because this has gone on for a while. I didn't even realize it. It felt like 5 minutes. All right, so let's take a look at the Archangel Oracle card. And last word I said, prioritize. And here we have that word. And it's Archangel Metatron. And, it says focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. This motivation will come from living your truth without questioning, but acknowledging. Your heart speaks to you. It's part of you. It's not really speaking to you. It's your own voice. This is your true voice. And we need to close the gap of indecision by becoming and performing the guidance of your voice. And as you do, you will feel inspired because of the alignment. And out of that alignment and out of that inspiration, which is how your voice speaks to you, the voice of God, which is one and the same, all the voice, there is only one voice. The voice speaks collectively, and you are an equal partner in the collective. So this is another reason not to ask the question, because if you're asking God if it's okay, how do you think the idea was inspired to you? So you're wondering, is this the right thing to do? Well, when you ask that question, that creates possibilities that follows that energetic perspective, which is doubt, along with the myriad of other possibilities. But when you just acknowledge, instead of worrying about the risk, and you create that kind of possibilities, you create the acknowledgement of truth moving forward. So that those will be the choices that you will continue to encounter as you continue to acknowledge the choices that are right for your soul and your inner wellness. This will become your path and your purpose. Does that make sense? So do not hesitate at this stage to acknowledge. This is what it means to live your truth, to acknowledge. Then, when you speak your truth, this will also come as inspired, not something that you have to calculate, and not something you have to do in defense. When you speak your truth, it's ushered by love, by unconditional love and compassion. It feels like the moment to to say so, whatever comes through you. But never in defense. Never in defense, because that's then the chaos, the illusion, and you don't want to dive into that. So if you live your truth, when you speak your truth, it won't be because there's a conflict. It'll be because there is an openness of hearts surrounding you, available, willing, and ready to receive. Don't think that speaking your truth is in defense. Don't let it be that it comes up then, because that's when you're likely to not be heard. But if you're always living it and speaking it in the context of purpose and path, then when a conflict happens, everyone will immediately listen to you, because you're consistent, and they've been able to hear you mostly in the peaceful times, not just in the conflicting ones. Okay? Let's take a look, and we'll continue on and see what's coming up for the week here. All right, so here we have the Six of Water, and going back to those memories and what we were talking about earlier in the reading here. So this is giving me a sense that as the week starts, that you need to, memories and things will come up. And what we would implore you to do is to try to look at them differently. And the word that they showed me in meditation while I was preparing for the reading was forgiveness. And this is just letting go. And I remember now my mother was coming through and she was just saying, let go. So let go and let God. Forgiveness is just really letting go. Letting go of your belief about what you thought happened and the way that it happened and the intention of others, their intentions. Let all that go, because you really don't have the evidence to back that up, to sustain it enough that it's valid enough to say that you should endure the consequences of those beliefs which you are feeling conflictingly within your heart. Your heart does not ever deserve to hold anything but the gentleness, warmth, compassion, and joy. This is a word that they've been writing constantly while I've been talking to you. There's nothing else. So this is the priority. Understanding what your heart is for and its purpose and what its environment is made up of. And that anything else is a decrease of that environment. And a decrease of that environment of your heart is a decrease in your wellness, your prosperity, your love, your joy, your laughter, your pleasure. It's a decrease. You're decreasing the value of your existence and experiences by giving that much power in terms of belief to something from your past. And this is also something that you want to model. Live your truth in this way so that our children can also learn through your example far better than speaking the words to them. Because they are very sensitive. They are clearer about vibration and the understanding of it and the processing of it than your words. They feel before they will understand anything that you say. And so, if you really want to do something powerful for your children, no matter how old they are, this living your truth would be the way. Now, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. Wow, we have a lot of water cards. And speaking of nurturing, here she comes up again, the Queen of Water, to remind us to take care of ourselves and put ourselves first, and to remember that our hearts are sensitive, and we take in a lot. We take in a lot of this Queen of energy, of cups, this Queen energy. We take in a lot. We take in a lot of what's happening around us, and we want to remember to clear our energies. You can call upon Archangel Metatron actually to use his geometric shape to go through each of your chakras. Your ascended chakras, there are 12 of them, and you can ask him to go through those chakras. And why don't we just do that now and give him permission to start with your chakras, and to just this geometric shape. It has the patterns that will realign you with your original blueprint of wellness and help you with your ascension path. And as you're just breathing and just sitting calmly, just trust that this process is going to happen. And you can sort of feel almost it feels like the relief I feel in my heart as it's already started. It's been tuning into everyone else's heart here. And it just feels like vapors, letting off steam and just releasing that. And we really need to, before we get ourselves all worked up and ready to go in and handle something that's really none of our business because it's an illusion, it's not a part of your soul's wellness, that first, before you do this, ask Archangel Metatron to come through with his geometric shapes and take them through all 12 of your chakras, your ascended fifth dimensional chakras, and then see what your priorities are after this happens and occurs for you, as you're letting go. Because you're going to feel very differently. And you're going to realize that you are feeling a lot of people's emotions and intentions and reactions. And you had just sort of you dived in, and it wasn't all yours, and you were going to end up making choices that would have compromised you because it would have taken you further into this illusion, which has nothing to do with you, that's not personal to you in any way. Even if it's directed towards you, it's still not personal, because as you will feel in your heart how as the vapors are, I can feel them getting lighter, and it's almost the mist of this is almost sort of passing. You feel how clear and clean and pristine your heart feels. Now you can see the truth better. You can feel it. And that person doesn't have that clarity that you now are understanding. So everybody's just given into influences with their beliefs because they don't have all the facts. They just are spinning the illusions. And so we don't want to dive in to anything without knowing the truth. And it's never your truth if it causes you to compromise your inner happiness and joy. We cannot allow for that decrease. And I get a sense, and then we have the page of Earth here. And it seems like there are things that you've been praying for in terms of increase in your own abundance and experience of life. And the message that's coming through is that you got to let that go in order for these new things to come through, because they're decreasing the value of your newly set intentions for financial success and success in projects and or anything that you're learning that's new. As the pages are all about these elements. If there's something new that you're learning or something new that you're taking up, um, you can't do that carrying these misconceptions. A lot of this has to do with past misconceptions about yourself and about your abilities and your skills, and which keeps you from not taking action on something because you don't feel adequate. You don't feel up to the task or up to the role. And so this is what we need to do. We need to forgive, meaning let go. Bring yourself, come into the present. Hear my voice when I say this. Let your heart hear my voice. Come to the present. In the present, it's a clean slate. Just see pure white all around you and all through you. There's nothing that's sketched out. There's not one line written or drawn. It's all clear and clean. And that is truly the present. And feel how safe and how full of hope and dreams and possibilities that are available to you in this. Okay? There was... So let's take a look now. Let me just tune in and just see if there's any additional messages here. So there's just showing me there's some opportunities and coming, like they show me a window, which means that windows are opportunity, and they show me a book in the window, which means that there's new information that's going to come through this opportunity. So don't, I get the sense, don't make up your mind. Step through that window of opportunity and then like be in the present, clean slate, whiteboard, whitewash, then be available to the information that's shown to you in that moment. Okay? Wait until you are immersed in the experience. Because when you're immersed in the experience and you're not carrying anything with you, the information that's there will pop up. You will be able to acknowledge the information that is there. You can't acknowledge the information if you are retaining the old. It says, I saw this number, this will be the last thing I say about these cards. It says, your prayers, 508. It says, your prayers and life changes have resulted in an increase in financial flow. Okay? And that's exactly what this page message is about. All right, so this is why they want to help you get your mind and your heart clear, to not be distracted or disturbed by the extreme contrast that's separating the illusions from you and your truth, so that you can see it and choose. Which are you going to follow, your truth or this voice, this illusion? And you're at that time. And look what we have where you're ready to make that decision. So now we have the Ace of Earth talking about beginnings. Got the page here. And so this is the underlying message. It says an influx of abundance, which just confirms the angel number there. A promising business venture, important documents and contracts. So this is definitely now the time, especially I think the retrograde is ending the 19th. Of course, we know there's a little tail whip afterwards, but this is definitely the time now when you can move forward. And you can take your time moving forward. It's not, don't feel that you have to be rushed here, all right, with this ace, but you can start moving forward. You don't have to dive into anything. And I think that's the whole thing, is to make sure that you align everything with the wellness of your heart. So take this time. This feels like a time this week, a time to be clear about your decisions, to make your heart's decisions a priority, thinking about that gentleness, joy, so that we do not decrease the value of it, but but by our choices, the ones that benefit it, we increase and expand the value of the heart. And when you do this, you allow for more blessings and more rewards, more cooperation from the universe to assist you to get things, to give you that impact of momentum that will help support all these new ventures in your life. Okay? So I send you lots of love and angel blessings. I want to tell you that I promised to do the dragon card oracle deck, and when I looked, I was missing a card. So I'm waiting for them, Hay House, to send me the card I was missing, and then I'll do the video. Okay? So it will come. Also, thank you all for your likes and your comments on this YouTube channel. They're very beautiful to read, and I do read through them all. Thank you for that, and I thank you for being here, because it's your collective higher consciousness that is actually giving the readings that you feel so connected to. So if you're looking for an angel reading, contact me at theangelschool.com. And you can sign up for the readings through on the services page. There's a link below this video for that page, my webpage, theangelschool.com. Also, if you haven't joined us for the daily card messages, you can go to my Facebook page, which you can click that link below. You can also follow through Twitter as well. If you are looking for some kind of, let's say, support, in terms of working through something that you want to work through, and you feel like it's a long-term, there is the Divine Roadmap coachings that are present there that you could do. We do them on a weekly basis, depending on what your need is. But just to be aware of this, my work with you is to help really affirm and realign you with the knowing of your heart, with that wellness in your heart, and to help you to see where you are, where you need to adjust, or how on you are really within yourself already, and you just need to trust it. So have a beautiful week, and I look forward to next week's reading and seeing what comes out. So have a beautiful week. Be gentle with your hearts. God bless you all, and I love you.